the man quietly dropped a colorless, odorless poison into a glass of red wine and handed it to his wife, who had just returned from her business trip. Unaware, she drank it all in one gulp. Seeing this, the man casually handed her a gift. When she opened it, she found it was a suicide note, and the handwriting was identical to her own. At that moment, the wife finally realized something was wrong, but it was already too late. Suddenly, her consciousness began to fade, and she collapsed to the ground. The man, unhurried, calmly carried her into the bathroom, planning to stage her death as an accidental drowning. Even after seeing her pregnancy test report, he resolutely went through with it, just to take control of the company and seize all of her wealth. He thought everything was perfectly planned, but little did he know, the wife's twin sister had already returned to the country. As a top assassin, the sister immediately saw through the husband's act. Though he appeared sad, his eyes showed no grief. The sister silently vowed that her sister's death must have something to do with this man. To confirm her suspicions, the sister secretly went to her sister's hospital room and discovered a faint pulse. Her subordinate immediately started treatment, while temporarily saving her sister's life. The sister knew it would be difficult for her to wake up soon. She realized if the man found out her sister was still alive, he would surely try again. So, the sister decisively slashed her own wrist, planning to disguise herself as her sister and expose the man's true face. But completely unaware of this, the man was in the hospital room, engaging in intimate acts with the housekeeper. Seeing this shameless duo, the disguised sister was filled with rage. She could barely contain the urge to kill them on the spot, but the housekeeper noticed her just in time and immediately screamed that the woman was still alive. The man, hearing this, quickly checked for his wife's breath, but couldn't feel anything. Still, to be sure, he tightly squeezed her neck. At that moment, the phone rang. The board of directors was calling. To secure control of the company, the man gathered the shareholders in the hospital room and declared that, as the only heir, he would now transfer the company to his name. The shareholders, though suspicious, dared not protest. Just then, a hand suddenly reached out from behind him, grabbing his arm. Then, the sister sat up from the bed. The man, terrified, asked if she was human or a ghost. The sister replied, pretending to be a vengeful spirit from hell. But soon, the man sensed something was off, because the woman in front of him referred to him differently than before. He immediately demanded to know her identity. The sister, realizing she had to lie, claimed she had lost her memory, and said there were security cameras in the room. If the man didn't believe her, they could check with the shareholders. The man, who had just tried to kill his wife, couldn't agree to this, so he reluctantly put his doubts aside, for the time being, to stabilize the company. The sister immediately announced a board meeting in 3 days, and then left the scene. However, as soon as she arrived home, the shareholders came to see her. Little did she know, a carefully orchestrated conspiracy was waiting for her. This was all a test to see if she was really the wife. The housekeeper, who had been having an affair with the man, deliberately triggered the home security system. The system could only be disabled with the chairman's fingerprint. If the wrong fingerprint was entered, the person would be electrocuted on the spot. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, the sister walked toward the door, praying silently that God would help her this time. But the next second, the sound of electricity filled the air.